Good evening, everyone. It is now 7 p.m. I will call the Wednesday, November 8th, 2023 Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from October 17th, 2023.
I'll second that.
Okay, Amy has the motion, Suzanne has the second. Any discussion on these minutes?
Nope, I didn't have anything. As always, they look great.
We're good.
All right, all in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from October 17th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence from the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. September 2023, Troop D troopers responded to 168 calls for service in the town of Thompson. Of these calls for service, most notable were 15 accidents, 14 investigations, 3 larcenies, and 136 non-reportable matters. In addition to the above investigations, troopers conducted the following motor vehicle enforcement: 12 traffic citations and 16 written warnings. And that was that. Any other correspondence?
That I can remember.
Okay. Selectmen comments at this time.
We had the election. We had record perfect weather except for the rain at the beginning and the end. But I haven't seen one this warm in long time that I can remember. Wish to congratulate all the people that were reelected, and even those that went out there to run for the various offices, because it takes a lot of work, and the town did have a great pool of people to choose from that were very deserving. So congratulations to everybody that put themselves out there, and of course everybody that was elected.
I have to echo that because there was some really good people and hard choices on the ballot. And I love that. What, you know, party aside, there were some really good people that we had come forward. So I thank them for running and being willing to run, and congratulations to all of those that did win their seat.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll step up to the plate
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
And looking forward to working with them.
Yeah, it was a 34% voter turnout, I think, isn't that?
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
For a municipal election, yeah.
All right, so I wanted to follow up on an item that Ken, you had pointed out, the timers in the park
I
arcade.
saw the lights were on.
It was a faulty timer. It had been replaced in the spring and something went wrong with it. So the electrician came back and
Great.
replaced it. So that's done. I want to give a shout out to Community, Quinnebog, and Thompson Hill Fire Departments for their quick response to the fire alarm that occurred here at Town Hall on October 29th. It was an issue in the elevator room, which consequently led to the elevator's demise. We are going to be having to replace the motor due to a leak in the mechanical room, in the roof of the mechanical room, due to something that was never finished back in 2010. Some flashing that was never completed on that project from 2010. So we're looking into that. We have to replace, we have to fix the roof leak first before we fix the electrical panel, and then ultimately replace the hydraulic motor for the elevator. So the elevator is inoperable, but I will say that it was about 1 a.m. The fire alarm central called my cell phone, which I keep near my bed. By the time I got here, both Quinnebog and Community were here already. So I commend them for their quick response. I don't live too far away, but they were much faster than me. So thank you. I just want to thank them for all they do. I wanted to point out to the public that I received notice from Connecticut Water. Let me see if I have it here. They are proposing a rate hike. And going to make sure this gets put out onto our website for anybody who actually has water service from Connecticut Water. Pura is holding hearings for this. There is one coming up on Monday, November 27th at 5:30 p.m. in Lebanon. And we'll have that up on the website. And then also Thursday, December 14th at noon via Zoom. I do not have the Zoom link yet, but I will get that up on the website as well. Connecticut Water Company has requested that Pura increase the company's annual revenues above current levels by approximately 21 million or 18.1% for rates effective July 1,
Wow.
2024. So it
That's-
is
that's
significant.
steep.
So if you have Connecticut Water and you're listening, or you know someone that has Connecticut Water, please encourage them to attend these meetings. And like I said, I will make sure that it's up on the website tomorrow. Let me think what else. Turkey Trot's coming up on Sunday, 10 a.m. start time for the race. There are still openings available for runners and walkers. It is not completely full yet, so I encourage people who are interested to either do the 5K run or the 3K walk. Additionally, on Saturday is Veterans Day, 11 a.m. at Oscar Swanson Park. There will be a ceremony hosted by the VFW and American Legion. It's always a very nice commemoration of our veterans and the service that they have given to our country. We were talking about it just before we started the Zoom meeting, but the Thompson Middle School girls soccer team won the conference championship. So that's really exciting. I see good things for that team as they get into high school. Oh, Steve Vayu, our poet laureate, sent me a message to tell me that. Amy, I thought I would share the poem I read at our recent community event because it has been published online as one of the Connecticut Poet Laureate's town poems. And that was the Twilight, I think it was Twilight in Thompson. He read it during Community Day and it did most recently was recognized.
Wow, that's awesome.
Great.
As one of the Connecticut Poet Laureates. And it's an amazing poem. I think I'll get that posted on the website as well. Because yeah, Twilight on Thompson Hill by Steve Vayu. It's a very visual poem as it's being read. It's fantastic. So I'm gonna make sure that goes up on our website too in a story. And that's all I have.
Just a couple of things. Friday, we're closed here.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay. Which is the normal. The inconvenience will be on Saturday.
Thank you.
Because everybody goes to the transfer station on Saturday, but that's closed because of our workers that
Veterans.
work on Saturday, so. If we get that message out, that's gonna be.
Yeah, and I think Marie's already put it, but I'll have her do
I
it as
saw
an
it,
urgent
I saw it.
alert. Was it an urgent alert?
No,
too?
well, I saw it online.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks, Ken. That was.
yeah, and I'm glad you remembered that.
yeah, because everybody will be looking to get into the transfer station.
Yes.
On Saturday, right?
On Saturday, and they won't be able to. And of course, Amy and I did attend the veterans thing at the elementary school,
Mhm.
honoring Mr. LaJoy, our last World War II veteran that's 98 years old, and it was a great ceremony, and having him come down and everything speaks well of honoring him. Plus
Yes,
all the rest
all
of the
the other
veterans were
veterans,
there,
yes.
then going down to the culinary for their meal,
Mhm.
but it's quite the honor because he is our last one.
Yeah.
So, hats off to the school for getting that all done.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yes.
Any other selectmen comments? All right, with that, we will open the floor to citizen comments. I'm gonna start here in the Cine room. Citizen comments, just stand, state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Bino, and I'm the owner of American Self Storage. We're located on Route 131 in Thompson, or I should say North Brooklyn.
Can Dottie hear him?
Dottie, can you hear? You can even come a little closer, Kevin.
Because of the microphone, Kevin. So Dottie can,
You want me to come closer?
yeah, that'd be
Dottie
great.
in
So
the
that way
virtual.
Dottie, perfect.
I'd like to talk about the ordinances that give developers tax deferments. It recently came to my attention that the town planner was looking to craft an ordinance for Green Valley self-storage on Main Street. To my understanding, this ordinance could have potentially relieved them of hundreds of thousands of dollars due to the town in tax. We would be put in a position where our revenue stream would be lowered by this new competition. And the town would continue to raise our tax burden, using it to fund them. My family has been in this town for 4 generations and we've paid our fair share. Jane and I currently pay $55,000 a year to this town in taxes. We built our business over a 35-year period, and we did not receive any financial help from the town. I hope the board will seriously consider any ordinances that would affect any future ordinances, minor or otherwise, that would directly impact the existing businesses or the residents. I do not think it's fair.
Thank
If
you.
you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments here in the Senate room? Citizen comments in the virtual audience? Yes, Ms. Valerie Clark.
Valerie Clark, Alm Road. I just want to thank Ken for all of his statements because I agree with everything he said and I appreciate everything he brought up. So thank you very much for that, Ken.
You're welcome.
Any other citizen comments at this time? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to the first order of business, agenda item 7.
Hello,
Hello.
hi, Sally White here.
Oh, yes.
I was trying to get in without any success there for a moment. What Kevin Bino said, some of us have tried to articulate both from those that don't own business and from other business owners, also longtime taxpayers. And I think that Mr. Bino has expressed it very well, very plainly, very calmly. And I believe that what he said is very earnest and valid. And I would hope that the board would take that under serious consideration because this is a great injustice. I'm glad I happened to remember the meeting and to hear that. And I know there are a number of other people there, business owners and regular property taxpayers that feel the same way. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. And I will iterate that I do take what Mr. Bino has brought to our attention very, very seriously. Any other citizen comments? All right, we will move on to agenda item 7, school entrances RFP. We have 2 bids to open. Just gonna open them up, state the name of the company, name and address of the company. Brian, is that all that was in there?
That's it.
Okay, we do not need to read off the totals at this point.
All right, do you want me to go? You just said name and address?
Yep.
Ad Form Interiors, Manchester, Manchester, Connecticut.
Pelletier Construction Management, 67 West Main Street, Clinton, Connecticut.
All right. Mr. Santos is here from the building committee. They are meeting currently. And he's going to take those bids up to them right now.
Thank you very much.
Super efficient today.
Did you want to see this one?
No delay.
Ken, did you want to see this one? Before they went?
Okay.
The envelope's challenging me just a little, sorry.
Yeah, they're checking these things.
And that Kim was on the outside of it, just like that, so there you go.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
You too.
All right, agenda item 8, property reappraisal and revaluation. If you remember, a couple of meetings ago, we opened up the RFPs for that. We received a letter from our assessor, Paul Hopkins. It says, "Dear Select Board, this letter is to formally recommend the award of the contract for the 2024 townwide revaluation. The review panel was made up of Paul Hopkins, assessor, and Margaret Houlihan, assessor clerk. The town received 2 proposals from Municipal Valuation Services LLC and Vision Government Solutions Incorporated. Both proposals were thorough and well presented, and both firms have worked within the state of Connecticut with excellent results. The review panel is making their recommendation based on the following factors. Municipal Valuation Services LLC was the low bid. Municipal Valuation Services LLC's contract specifically detailed the needs of the town of Thompson. Municipal Valuation Services LLC has a group of highly knowledgeable staff and are respected throughout the state. And the 4th reason was the overall quality of the proposal was excellent. If the select board accepts this recommendation of the review panel, the firms will be notified of the award for contract on Thursday, November 9th, 2023. Any questions for Paul, because he is here with us? And the total cost, Paul?
Was $60,000,
Which was a significant,
it was about a third, I believe, roughly about a third of the last reval contract.
I'll make the motion to accept the recommendation as presented to us for Municipal Valuation Services LLC.
And I'll second that.
okay, motion in a second. Any further discussion on this bid award? All in favor of awarding this bid to Municipal Valuation Services LLC, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. You're good to go, Paul. All right, agenda item 9. Staff. First, we have a new hire, Brian Bohenko. Brian is the maintenance person that took over for Pete temporarily over the winter when Pete was in Florida. We did interview, myself, Michelle, and Marie interviewed 3 candidates. Brian was by far the most qualified. He does work part-time at the school. He's a retired corrections officer for the sheriff's department in Massachusetts. He does a fantastic job. And now he's learning, he manages several apartment complexes, doesn't manage, he owns several apartment complexes and takes care of the maintenance of those complexes. So he's very handy. It's very similar to Pete. And we're excited to be able to offer him the position if the board's willing.
Good.
And then we also have the resignation of Michael Quisnell. And then we did receive word that Lynn Landry in the tax office has chosen to retire from her position effective February 6th of this year, or 7th. But February this year, the first week in February, which will be a great loss for the tax office. So those are the 3 staff items that we just need to address tonight.
So do we need a
I
motion?
do them one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make, that's what I was gonna say, is that's just what I was asking. Do we need I'll make a motion that we hire Brian Bohenko
Mhm.
for the town hall maintainer custodian.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second discussion on this individual. No, okay.
Okay.
All right, all in favor of approving the new hire Brian Bohenko for town hall maintainer / custodian, say aye.
I,
Aye. All right, resignation.
I'll make a motion that we accept the resignation of Michael Quisnell, the library custodian.
Second,
Motion and a second to accept the resignation of Michael Quisnell. Any discussion? All in, and of course, it's with regret. We seem to be, it seems to be a difficult task to get someone to stay in the custodial position at the library.
Just hired, yeah.
Yeah, it could be, the level of salary,
It could be, but it could also be the.
hours.
Well, it's just that it seems to be a trend within a lot of employers are finding the same issues.
People are coming and
People are
going.
coming and going.
Okay,
They're getting better offers or,
yeah.
yeah.
All in favor of accepting the resignation of Michael Quisnell, say aye.
aye,
Aye. And as far as Lynn, I mean, I don't know that there's any action. I mean, it's accepting of her retirement.
Yeah.
But we are
So-
going to be posting her
Do you want me to make the
position.
motion?
Oh, do we?
No,
I
we
don't
don't
think
need
we
a
need to.
motion, okay.
We are gonna be posting
Oh,
her
it's
position for
retirement.
the union tomorrow. We're gonna get that up on the union boards because it does need to be posted there first, and then we'll start advertising and begin the search for her replacement. So,
So Lynn has been in the tax office for how many years? I know it said in
13.
her
I think it was
13 years, and she will be dearly missed. And I think I can say that we have appreciated the time that she has put into that office and all that she has done to keep the tax bills going out on time.
she's definitely a ray of sunshine in that office, and she keeps things organized.
And she's got such a pleasant personality that if somebody comes in upset, I'm sure she's able to just kind of talk them down. So, yeah.
I remember when we hired her.
Yeah.
And she was everything. And then some. She's been outstanding,
Yeah.
working in the tax office, without a doubt, she will be dearly missed.
Mhm.
I wish her and Al the best on where they go from here in retirement. And the various committees and everything that she's also contributed,
Mm.
you know, because she's very active in the town, as well as filling in the office throughout the building from time to time where is needed.
Mhm.
And when they get bored, they do all the grounds and the flowers around the
That as
building
well.
and make, you know, the building look beautiful, and that
Mhm.
will be dearly missed, yeah,
So
yes.
she will be greatly missed.
We wanted to just make sure we made the announcement to the board, and we'll have to plan something for her retirement, and I'll make sure I invite you both.
Thank you, that would be much appreciated.
All right. One thing we had realized we hadn't done in agenda item 10 was appoint Dan Malo officially as the wetlands agent. If you recall, a couple weeks
yes.
back, he took, September 15th, he took over as the wetlands agent. Marlo is staying on in a consultant basis, but we're excited to have Dan in that position. I'll make a motion that we appoint Dan Malo to serve as Inland Wetlands Enforcement Officer for the town of Thompson, retroactive to September 13th, 2023. Term is indefinite.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion in a second. Any discussion on this appointment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Town of Thompson's mission statement. At a few months back at a staff meeting and a department head meeting, we began discussing that maybe the town hall should have an official mission statement. So several staff members and department heads creatively came up with different ideas for mission statements, and ultimately they merged them together and formed what we've presented to you both tonight. And it would be to serve our residents by delivering fiscally responsible, dependable services with integrity and professionalism as we work together to make our town a vibrant, healthy, and sustainable community. Everybody has looked it over and all seem to be in approval of this, but we thought we would bring it to the board to get your thoughts on it. The recreation department has a mission statement, the library has a mission statement. And we just thought that maybe town hall should have something that we strive for day after day.
I like it.
It covers the bases.
It does. Yeah,
And as we evolve, there's nothing stopping us from amending this or
absolutely.
and adding to it.
Yeah.
So,
Should we do a motion just to make it official that, or you think just your stamp of approval?
I think we should. I think a mission
Yeah.
statement should be approved
Yeah.
through this board. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to make the motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that we approve the town of Thompson mission statement that has been proposed today, November 8th, 2023, as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion on this item? All in favor of approving the mission statement as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, now we are back to the Sandam Road acquisition of property. We did go back to planning and zoning, to ask them to correct their motion, which they did at their October 23rd meeting, specifying the actual description of the property that was being acquired, for the Great East Thompson, Memorial Train Wreck Park or train wreck site. Yeah. So what we're looking for at this point is just approval from this board to move forward with the acquisition. Knowing that no funds are coming out of Thompson taxpayer dollars. And that it will ultimately have to go to town meeting, which we're shooting for a December town meeting. But if you want to just take your time. and-
Refresh my memory. This was coming from ARPA funding. Was
Yeah,
that
it
correct
was
too?
For, Kira,
Yeah, so, ARPA funding provided the match
Right.
for the pair of grants through CTD. So this is from grant
CTD.
number 1, which was the smaller, the planning and design, wrapping that up, and then the larger portion matched grant number 2, which is the implementation and construction. So this is just wrapping that up.
Yeah.
and
So,
both of them
just for the
came from
public's-
CTD.
They're the same grant
same grant.
program, just in subsequent. grants.
Just
Okay.
done in phases,
I
yeah.
couldn't remember
Right,
which
right,
grant it
right.
was from.
Yeah,
I couldn't,
so
I
many.
couldn't remember either.
CTD Recreational Trails Grant Program.
Perfect. Thank you.
no, just a quick question.
Mhm.
This ultimately gets turned over to the state parks.
That is the plan that we've articulated, because that makes the most sense to everybody, since the interpretive park, the memorial park, is a part of the Airlines State Park Trail.
Mhm,
State Park Trail, which is a CTD property.
mhm.
It doesn't really make any sense for a half an acre portion of the interpretive park to be owned by either the private owner or the town. So while we're doing the work, the implementation work, it'll be in our ownership, and then we'll do a transfer to CTD. That's the plan. And we can opt to keep it if we want it, but it doesn't make any sense to me to do that.
And just for people that aren't familiar, this piece of property is actually going to house the turnstile,
Correct.
the
This is-
reconstructed
This
turnstile.
is where the original stone turntable from the East Thompson train station was. The outline, you can still see it.
Mhm.
The Historical Society purchased a set of essentially analogous stones from an owner in Putnam. And they were a very close to exact fit. I think there's a difference of like a foot in the radius. So the final design and everything will, put it all together, and then it's just gonna be a part of this historic interpretive park. It's gonna be pretty cool.
How
It's still-
exciting.
Yeah, the Historical Society is super stoked. So, and I will be happy to get this thing actually under construction in the next year. That's my goal.
That's awesome.
Okay, the only other caveat, Because ultimately it's gonna be transferred over. Would it have made sense just to transfer it to him now?
That's what
I
I,
did.
Instead
I did
of
ask that question.
going to us and then whatever the closing costs, et cetera, and then doing it again in 1 or 2 years or whatever it may be.
I did ask that question of CTD and they actually recommended doing it this way, just because of the way their processes work out. I will tell you that what I do know of CTD is they are so slow to get this stuff. They're so understaffed. So this was just sort of the easiest thing to park it with us while we're actually working on it. And then once the work's done, it's off to them.
did you say you just needed our approval?
Yeah, we'll need just a motion to approve moving this forward to town meeting, but we don't.
At a
have
future
date
date.
In the, at a future
At a
date to be
future date.
determined.
Okay, so I'll make that motion.
Second,
Motion and a second to move forward with the acquisition of the property as described in the warranty deed that's been presented to us. The total cost out of grant funding is $5,000 for the acquisition. And then what we're voting on is moving to town meeting, pending the
Right.
town meeting approval. You got all that, Dottie? Any other discussion on this? All in favor of approving this acquisition of property located on Sandam Road, say aye.
I,
I,
Aye. All right, so the next agenda item isn't something that I think we should take action on tonight. I think it's just something that I thought was important for us to start thinking about. There is a couple on our in our Thompson code book. Under fines and fees, there are 2 items, an inlands wetlands fee, which needs to be removed. And then I think it was the flood protection prevention ordinance that needs to be adjusted, and I'm working with Marla on those 2 items. But in the meantime, since we were going to be looking at the fee and fine schedule, I thought, well, it'd probably be a good idea to reach out to Jamie to see if he wants to make any adjustments to his fire marshal fees. So that should have been presented, that should have been sent to you for review at some point. Additionally, John Noley had come up to me. He and Terry had been talking on many occasions when he's inspecting the solar companies that are doing solar installs at people's houses. Things aren't getting done to code. He's having to return multiple occasions. What they were discussing was proposing some reinspection fees specifically for the solar companies, so that when they go out there, they make sure that they're following code and regulation. And then, so they want the board to start thinking about that and your feelings about doing that. They had recommended $100 potentially for a reinspection fee. And again, I iterate that it's specifically the solar companies that are doing the installs in town. And lastly, Erin, our animal control officer, would like us to continue to consider redemption fees for owners that have dogs that roam. So that would get added to the fee and fine schedule. Advertising fee, if a dog is found roaming and she needs to put it in the paper, receiving some money back, and a daily boarding fee for any day that a pet is not claimed. Yeah. So if your dog is roaming and they're picked up and kept in the kennel, he wants us to consider that.
that is kind of a norm, is to charge a fee
Right.
if you're boarding a dog.
Yeah.
Or any animal.
Right, and I know at one point we had talked about the surrendering of animals, and I think we had kind of determined that it might be a burden on some people who can't afford their dogs or cats, and they're trying to find better homes. So, yeah, I think at this point, if you just want to look over the fire marshal fees, I'll get you the specific proposal from the building office. And I'll get you a specific, you know, like an Excel spreadsheet of what the animal control officer wants
Okay.
to. And that way, before the next meeting, you'll have time just to think about it.
Does the revenue that she generates go back into the dog
Yes.
fund or the
Yeah.
dog fund?
Any fines that she issues, so
Goes
if
back
somebody,
into-
no. Fees do, fines don't, fines go to the state.
Oh, fines, okay,
Fines. So
Oh.
any fines that are based on, you know, statute.
Yes.
That she's required to charge for dog roaming, nuisance, things like that, goes back to the state.
but a kennel fee would go into the dog.
Correct.
Because that's on a fine.
Redemption fee, advertising fee, daily board fee would all go back into the dog fund.
Okay.
So to help support the program.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'll get that to you guys. Any other business to bring before the board? Okay, I will open the floor back up to citizen comments, in the room, in Cine room. On the Zoom,
Sally White,
yes, Sally.
308 East Thompson Road. The land purchase in East Thompson, you referred to Sand Dam, yet the entrance to the train station is off East Thompson Road. So why are you calling it Sand Dam?
Because, well, Tara's ready to answer.
Yeah, because the parcel that it's being carved off of has a Sand Dam address.
And that's what I said.
So that's the reason for the reference, Sally.
So
you
it's the present owner's address as opposed to the physical location.
Well, the physical location is a part of the parcel which has an address and frontage on Sandam. So at this time, that would be the address of it. In the warranty deed, it's also described by longitude, latitude, which is what the Board of
Right.
Selectmen has seen.
Well, that's curious. All right, I know well where it is. One other question, and that would be, it was my understanding that the ARPA funds were meant for infrastructure and not for discretionary items. How is it that something that's purely recreational or museum type or whatever it can be paid out of what was to be infrastructure and necessary items?
Yeah, so infrastructure was definitely one of the eligible uses. Another specifically named eligible use was things that encouraged tourism and outdoor recreation as an economic driver that was specifically named in the ARPA rule. So it is definitely an eligible activity.
Well, maybe eligible, yet I don't think we've run out of more compelling infrastructure things that we need in town.
Sally, when the Board of Selectmen made the decision to appropriate money to the airline trail, what we knew was that trail during COVID, just its increased use was probably
It
threefold.
went from something like 6,000 users a year to at that time about 24,000 users in that year. It was a huge increase. Also, I'll remind, well, the Board of Selectmen knows because they were all there, but some of the Zoom audience may not have been there. There was a public engagement event where a number of eligible projects was presented. This was among them. Following that event, I did pretty close to 100-page synopsis of those results. And then the Board of Selectmen chose from the recommendations, and this was one of the items that they chose to put some ARPA funds aside for.
Well, I appreciate your opinion on that matter. I think it's open for debate and should have been more debated, but thank you very much for explaining.
Any other citizen comments? All right. Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to tax refunds. I make a motion that we refund Honda Lease Trust $446.26. Vanessa Krasinski, $57.24. Nissan Infinity LT LLC, $38.53. Jeffrey W. Salsi, $1,134.90. And then Vault Trust / Ally Financial, $497.33 for a total of $2,174.26 in tax refunds. I make that motion.
Second,
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on the tax refunds?
nope,
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye. Motion to adjourn at 7:41 PM.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
That's cool.